Welcome back from the break. You're watching Newsx. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. We are decoding for you as part of the Bharat Progress Report 101 milestones that have been achieved towards building a new India. We've run you through several of them, and now in this particular segment we're going to be focusing in the high-tech space. Joining us, a special panel as always, we have Vivan Sharan now live with us. He's an author and partner, Coan Advisory. Major General J.K. Bansal, defense expert, is also joining us now live. And without further ado, let's quickly go across and decode for you milestone number 56 that has been achieved, in fact, this year. So milestone number 56 has to do with the smartphone segment, where India's smartphone exports has crossed the 20,000 crore mark in November 2024. That is, of course, a very, very significant figure. And, just talking about the year-on-year growth, well, the year-on-year growth has been achieved is significant because it's over 92%. Also, in fact, India's smartphone exports have crossed the 10,000 crore mark, in fact, in November, which is when, of course, this 20,000 crore mark, of course, but the percentage is also very, very significant in November 2024. That is a segment that is poised to grow significantly in the next quarter and the next year, hopefully, as well. Also, the PLI scheme, the performance linked incentive scheme, has truly been a game changer in this particular field and is also what is resulting in this increase in the year-on-year figure. Vivan, let me quickly take that across to you. What do you make of this significant rise in smartphone exports that have been seen in this past year?
I think, just to put into perspective, you mentioned some numbers. I'll just illustrate more about the scale first. If you just take Apple as one of the major manufacturers that has benefited from the PLI, or one of the major brands that further, uses contract manufacturers, Apple is already now twice or thrice the turnover of Maruti in India. So that's the scale we're talking about that has been achieved here. And on its own, I think it's exceeding $10 billion in exports. And this is a remarkable turnaround from about a decade ago, when we'd kind of written off smartphone manufacturing. The last sort of tryst with smartphone manufacturing that was a serious tryst was with Nokia. And we all know how that Nokia story went, unfortunately, because of the scourge of retrospective taxation. The company folded up in India in around 2013. Since then, there have been a series of courageous steps that have needed to be taken to actually onshore manufacturing again in smartphones. And I think over the next decade or so, the next challenge is going to be to try to localize more of the value that actually accrues from manufacturing in India. And that will take, a different level of nuance from what we've seen so far. So far, what we've been able to do successfully is get the major OEMs into the country. Their contract manufacturing ecosystems, to some extent, have also been localized. But the next step is the hardest step, where we need to justify, further incentives to onshore components manufacturing. So what we've been able to do so far is about 18 to 20% of value addition in the smartphone bill of materials. And if we need to take it to the next level, which is in some senses a harder step, because it requires for us to generate that kind of smart manufacturing expertise that resides only in a few countries, including China, Vietnam, and the US. We'll need to continue to bite the bullet. And you mentioned that the PLIs have been successful, but they have not been uniformly successful. So there are sectors like textiles, etc. The PLIs have not succeeded. So we'll have to also be careful in how we think about the design of PLIs in all sectors. Particularly for IT, it requires nuance and depth to be able to reconcile the fact that we can only become self-reliant and nationally capable if we work closely with OEMs from around the world.